Andre gave us the P intersect V intersect C means that they are people who are pianists and violin and cello. So that's people who play all three things. What about the last one? The complement of P union V union C. Who are they? What would people who have piano, union, violin, union, cello? What about the complement part of that, Andre? What does that mean? This means complement. Opposite. So P union V union C is someone who plays either piano, violin, or cello. So the intersect one over is and, union is or. So this is piano or violin or cello. And the complement of that, what does that mean? Complement means those not. Not necessarily doesn't play. Have a look at the universal settling hour. You're right, it's people who doesn't play piano, cello or violin. Yeah, doesn't play those instruments. Because they're in the set of musicians, they play some instrument, but the complement says play something else. So you're looking at the brass section, or you're looking at the people who play the drums. Yeah, so that's the people we're looking at in this one. These are people who might be in brass, woodwind, the percussion. And the reason they must play something is because we're talking about them being a musician. Okay? And these people don't play any of these. Doesn't matter if someone plays a brass instrument and the piano, they wouldn't be in this group now. They wouldn't be counted here. Because they play the piano, they'd be included with the pianists. But someone who plays just the brass instrument isn't counted in the union there. There'd be the complement of it. So we've now got to draw a diagram using this that will allow us to actually solve the problem of saying how many people do what for piano, violin, cello within this orchestra. Now we've identified the complex ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw in this little bit of diagram. We've got violin players also contain cello players. Now what I've got to add to that is piano players. So piano players, we have here, we know that there is some people who play all three. So that means there must be some piano player who plays a violin and plays a cello. So I draw the circle around. So we've got the piano players, those who play only the piano, those who play the piano and violin, those who play piano, violin and cello. Okay? So that's the first part of this diagram, is we need to be able to draw that diagram. Is it needed now? So is it immediate? Because if it's on my email, I need to come. I want to finish this first. Okay. So what we need to do now is start putting in the other information. So we've done C intersect is contained within V. C is a proper subset of V. That means that there must be some number outside of V, but C, but inside V, because they're not the same. So coming down, I'll show you the first thing of how I show this in a diagram. We've got to put in here how many items are in each region. So each region needs to have a number in it. If it's 0, we will write in 0 for an empty set. So first of all, what I often will do is if I'm being told how many are there in P only, I will emphasize that by putting it on the bracket, in brackets, and on the circle. So there are 22 people inside P. That's all of these sections. I go to V. Everything inside V has 26 people. Everything inside C is 10 people. And what we've got is the number of people who play all three is 3. So this section where the P overlaps with V overlaps with C actually has 3 people in it. And that's the part where I actually put the number in. It's not in brackets because it's not trying to include another region. This is just this region. This 22 is including all of these regions inside P. That's why I've put a bracket around it to emphasize. So we now come on to say people who do not play any of those 3 instruments, there are 44 of them. Where does that go? And I'll try and have a look at whilst you try and answer, I'll go and have a look. It's not inside any of these circles, is it? Because there's nobody in there. So it's 44. No, I agree with you, it's inside the square. Does it need to be in brackets? Does 44 represent everything inside the square, or does it just represent only the square? Okay, the 44 is for this region, everything outside of those circles. So I don't put it in brackets. I only put things in brackets if it's the whole circle. So P, there's 22 inside P, includes that 3 there. Okay, so the number without brackets means it's that region only. We've got, in total, 85. So the 85 is actually, I'd put it near this. And that shows that there are 85 inside, 85 musicians. And that's musicians in the orchestra. Okay. So this actually says there are 85 people in the orchestra altogether. So the bracket on there says 85, including that bit, that bit, that bit, that bit, that bit, and that bit. 44 is only in the bit on the outside. Okay. What can I do now? Because I've got some regions I don't know numbers for. What I'm going to put in them. If it's something I don't know, put a variable in. So I'm going to put some variables in to get replaced. So I look at my diagram and I go, well, I don't know what's in this one. I'm not going to use a lowercase p, v, or c because that would become confusing when I try writing it. So I'm going to do I, J, K, and L. I, j, k, l, tends to imply to people that you're talking about integers. They're whole numbers. And these represent the numbers only in that region. Okay? So what I can do now is I can look at this region P and write an equation for it. I will do it in purple. The equation for this P is the region P tells me there are 22 people and it's made up of I plus j plus the 3. And that tells me I plus j must equal 19. Go to another region, we know 26 round here. So V tells me 26 in total, and that is made up of J, K, L, and 3. J, K, L, and 3. So we know J plus K plus L is 23. C, the cellists, I know there are 10 people. And that's made up just of sections L and 3. And now I know that L must be 7. Because I know L is 7, I can now change it in this line, so that this now becomes J plus K equals, take 7 away, 16. I've got one other sum I can write, and that's for the universal set, and that is 85 is made up of everything inside it. So we've got the 44 and I and J and K and L and the 3. And of course we already know L is 7. So now I rearrange the equation, get the I, J, K again, I plus J plus K, which equals 85 minus 44 is 41, minus 10 is 31. Is that right? I plus J plus K. 31, yes, that is right. So I'm just checking the actual final answers so I don't get too confused. But I now look at the equations. I could replace the J and K with 16, substitution. I plus 16 equals 31. So that means I equals 15. And in the same way, I can put J, put that back into the top one. So if we take the equation from the top, sorry, I've just lost my pen. So if I go back to the top, so from P, 15 plus J equals 19, tells me J must equal 4. And then using the equation from V, I've got J plus K equals 16, so K equals 12. I've got I, J, K, and L. So I can now go and put those back in. I was 4, J was 4, I was 15. And K was 12, and L is 7. So I can now replace all of these letters with a number. And now when I do the sums, they should all add up. So inside, do a check. Let's just do a quick check in green. So we're doing a check. 15 plus 4 plus 3 is equal to 22. 15, 4, and that's my 22, that's correct. Do another region over here. I've got 4 plus 3 plus 7 plus 12. 7, 14, 26. That region was 26, correct. I've been told also that 3 plus 7 equals 10. Yeah, that's the region in the middle. That works. And the last one, if I add all of these numbers together, 15, or because I've checked these are right, I do 22 plus 26 is 48. 58. I'm not gone too far. Oh, sorry, that one's inside, that's why. Just add each of the numbers up. So we're doing 15 plus 4 plus 3 plus 10, plus 7, sorry, plus 12. Now, I have to be careful I don't do the numbers in brackets. I have to use just the numbers. Plus 44, 9, 12, 19, 21, 25, carry 2, 6, 7, 8, 85. Yeah. My whole grid has worked. That's how you can solve those sorts of problems, and then you have to be able to interpret. Anybody got a problem?